Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to speak here this morning. I'm here to speak in support of HCR 31, the Convention of States Resolution. I'm Dan Starkey. I'm a retired Master Sergeant of the U.S. Air Force, which I served proudly for 28 years. I currently live in western Greenbrier County, where I hope to stay until they find me someday drooling on my shirt collar and carry me off to the old soldiers' home. Until that time, I will carry on this fight for the future of my country. I swore an oath like yours, Mr. Chairman, when I enlisted to serve my country. Part of that oath bound me to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. It is not, as some people call it today, a quaint anachronism from a bygone era. It is the most precious statement ever made by human beings concerning the liberty of their fellow people. They all take that oath in Washington, D.C. I wonder how many of them consider their oath of office as anything more than a perfunctory checking of a box. We could speak a lot about the looting that goes on daily in Congress, but what good does that do? None. They make all the rules, sort of. Congress has effectively abdicated its lawmaking authority to the executive and judicial branches. They write very little of the legislation they pass, and they often don't even read it. Presidents enact legislation by executive fiat. The two major parties fight constantly over who will get to appoint the next Supreme Court justice to do their bidding. Bureaucracies issue mountains of regulations that Congress allows to have the effect of law. It would not surprise me to learn that each of us has already run afoul of some regulation this morning and we don't even know it. The administrative state is so powerful that it can with impunity trample on the rights of any citizens it chooses, not for any suspected crime, but simply for displaying an insufficiently subservient attitude. Americans are being held in federal custody today without trial. Some have sat in jail for a year without even being charged. But the Congress, not their problem. They're riding the federal gravy train, serving their beloved benefactors with special interest spending, and don't get between any of them and a television camera. You may not survive the encounter. The national debt, as you've heard, is now topped $30 trillion. The debt service alone will cost each and every family in this country $2,600 this year. The unfunded liability is creeping now towards 200 trillion, excuse me. And there's no plan to address it. No one in Washington seems to care. Do you? Almost finished. The states need to come together to amend the Constitution in ways that will limit the power and jurisdiction of the federal government, establish a balanced budget at the national level, limit the congressional power to tax, and enforce fiscal restraint on the central government. And so, I and thousands of other mountaineers ask you today to be courageous, plant your flag, make a stand for liberty, and pass this resolution. Thank you.
I'm here live in Philadelphia at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. When you hear the phrase lives, fortunes, and sacred honor, these are the folks we should think of, those who anonymously gave their lives. Well, today you have a chance to volunteer. You need to volunteer for conventionofstates.com, the movement that's going to save the country. These folks are willing to step up and give everything. We need you to give just a little bit. Go to conventionofstates.com and volunteer today.